Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Hacker Factory. So today we are going to discuss about the subdomain discovery, which is also a part of information gathering. And here we'll perform some of the tools and techniques to identify the subdomain information. So before going to the tools and techniques, why do we need to perform subdomain discovery? uh, as you know, there are some bug bounty programs, and mostly what the hacker will do, they perform the subdomain discovery and identify the subdomains information, and they will perform the attack on the subdomains. And after that they will get some kind of vulnerabilities in the subdomains, like they can perform subdomains takeover as well. So these are the things that we can do with the subdomains discovery. And how we can perform the subdomain discovery, there are the tools which we can use for the subdomain discovery. Like I have already uh, in my last session I show in this Ocean framework that there is a domain name where you can where a category of subdomains, and you can identify the tools which is used for subdomain. So you guys can see here there is a Acoton is there, right? Recon ng is there, GoBuster is there, the Harvester is there. So these are some of the popular tools which is used to identify the subdomains information. So let's start with first the Harvester. Like where you have to just open your Kali Linux, and it's by default in your Kali Linux. You have to just write here the Harvester and hyphen help. You can see what are the commands and switches that the Harvester uses. This is basically a script which is written in Python, and here you guys can see the list of commands that used in Harvester. You can also use man as well. It will also help you to identify the information for related to the Harvester. I think there is no manual entry for the Harvester, but don't worry, you can see the information through hyphen help. So let's take an example to identify the subdomain information. I have just I can just write here the Harvester hyphen d, and if you see on the command list, the hyphen d is for the domain. So here I will put my target like google.com, right? And hyphen b, that is used for the source, like from where you want to identify the information. So these are some of the platforms that will give us some of the information related to the related to their email addresses, related to the target subdomains, name, LinkedIn profiles, Twitter profiles, Trello profiles. A lot of information you can get through this Harvester tool, right? So hyphen b, and I just put here all, and it start to identify the information with the Harvester. Let's see. Now let's wait for the result. We'll start with another tool that we have is the sublister. So sublister is also one of the most popular tool, and this is also a command line tool, and it's by default in your Kali Linux. You guys can, if it is not in your Kali Linux, you just use apt get install and you can install this sublister. Now let's use the sublister. If I just write here sublister hyphen help, then you can also see the help of sublister. Here some of the commands that we can use with the sublister. I just write here sublister hyphen d, that is also same for the domain, which means a target. So I write here google.com, and you can also set a search engine that from where it will identify the information, like e and then Google or Bing or Yahoo, anything, right? But I'm not mentioning here any of a search engine. Or you guys can also generate a output of this command, that what are the result it will identify. So you can also maintain output of that file. So I just hit enter here, and it start gathering the information for the subdomains. So we'll wait for this information. Let's start with another tool, that is the knock py. Knock py one is also one of the tool that is used to identify the information for subdomains and the IP addresses, and also sometimes it also identify the virtual domains of a target. So you can just see a knock py hyphen hyphen help, and here again you guys can see what are the example, what are the commands that we can use with the knock py. Like you guys can see in the example section that knock py and the target, right? You have to just write this thing and it will start to identify the subdomains information. So here let's take an example. Start with no py and google.com. You just write here and it enter. Let's start to identify the subdomains information. Let's wait and just go to with these things. So wait for the results, and apart from this we'll discuss about the tool that is DNS dumpster. So DNS dumpster is also one of the famous tool, and it's a website. Basically you guys can just uh, go to this website by using DNS dumpster, and here is the website. This is basically used for the footprinting. It means a passive information gathering. So here you guys can hit your target like google.com and click on search. So it start to look up for the DNS records as well. So here are some of the DNS record that we can identify through with the DNS dumpster. Like the name servers are there with their mail, with their IP addresses and the location. So Google has the four name server you guys can see here, and the mail exchangers are there. So these are the mail exchanger that you use to exchange the emails. So they have also some IP addresses along their location addresses. TXT records are there, right? And these are the host records. So what are the host records are there? You guys can see the list of records, or the list of the kind of subdomains that exist in the google.com. You guys can see here, or even you can also generate a output from here in the Excel file, or rather you can also see in the graphical view. Let me show you in the graphical view as well. So this one is the graphical view. Here you guys can see, you can just zoom it and you can see with the IP addresses. So it shows result in a in an exact graph, or you can even download Excel to understand these result, or you can export as a ping or download Excel, right? So there is also another tool that is the aquaton. So aquaton is also one of the famous tool, and for the information gathering you guys can just write here aquaton, and you can find out it from github, right? So here this is the tool. You guys just go for the installation part. You can install it in your Kali Linux by using the command git clone, and you can just copy this code and it will download in the Kali Linux, and you can just follow the installation methods and easily you get the tool and perform whatever you want, like the subdomain discovery or any other information that you want. You can use this echo term, right? Even you can specify port to scan, what kind of ports you want to scan. You can also use or to scan these ports with the echo tone, right? Or either you can install apt, you can install Ecoton by using apt apt get install, and you can have just write amas or Ecoton. You will definitely install this tool in your Kali Linux. So let's go there on the output of knock py. So wow, you guys can see what output. So it helps for it helps of an attacker to to go with these single subdomain and to identify the information. So I have IP addresses, right? I have a domain name, right? So you guys can see what are the list of, there is a list of subdomains with their IP addresses. So it's very helpful for an attacker or a hacker to identify more information or to perform vulnerability or exploitation on these particular subdomains. Let's go for the other part. And this is the output of sublister, right? So you guys can see, I think it's much enough for me to if I go for a Bhagwanti program, then definitely I start uh, perform the subdomain discovery and pick up one of the domain and perform the testing on any of the domain. So here you guys can see the list of subdomains. I think this is enough. You guys, you can, this is enough for an attacker. So there are a lot of subdomains, right? And the last one, that is the harvester. And you guys can also see the list that and the result that is given by harvester. There are a lot of information. There is a lot of information. Wow, it's really important for an again for attacker to identify more information about the target. Here you guys can see, I think it's much enough, along with their IP addresses, right? You can also generate this output in a text file to gather more information. What are the, I think there are a lot of things you can also perform. You can also gather any LinkedIn or any Trello profile, any Twitter profile. You have to just write here Twitter, right? So it will it will go to identify the information from Twitter. It will go to identify from the information from LinkedIn. So you guys have to just write all these things, and you definitely get something interesting, right? So this is what uh, we can do with this tool, and how we can identify the subdomains of any target. So if you guys have any doubt, you can just again go for this open source intelligence framework and click on the domain name and subdomains. Then there are a lot of tools which help you to identify subdomain information. And some of the websites, like we just click on this find subdomains. This is a website. Again, you have to just write here google.com. Any target you have, you just write here, and just scanning and give us some of the results, like you guys can see, right? So it's not a free, so you have to just log in into this application, and definitely you will get more result. So thank you guys. I hope you would like my session. If you like my session, please do subscribe, share for my upcoming videos.